this is lesson 2-1, Fact Families, the parent help video for grade 3 everyday math. In this lesson there are a few different vocabulary words. We have unit box, which is essentially the kids will see a problem and it might say like 6 plus 2 equals, and then there's a blank, and then there's a unit. There will be a box labeled unit. When kids see this box, we want them to write something in there like dogs or cats or pencils. Okay? We don't want them to write plus or minus. That's not the unit. The unit is, it's a noun, it's a thing. Okay, so it'd be like 6 dogs plus 2 dogs. That equals 8 dogs. So that's what the unit is, and that's what the unit box is talking about. Label. Okay, so to label your numbers is to write an answer on it, the unit on it. So if the problem is, I have 6 dogs at home, I go to the store and I buy 2 more dogs, how many dogs do I have? Right? If you write the answer 8, well, we're also looking to have the kids label it by writing 8 dogs. Okay, putting that unit on, that's called labeling. Alright, then we have measurement unit. And a measurement unit is the unit that we use to measure, essentially. So a lot of measurement units we have, it could be feet, could be inches, could be centimeters. Alright, there are many different kinds of measurement units that we use. Could be meter. Alright, yard. Okay, and I kind of put them in 2 separate categories of units. This is the metric system, and this is the standardized system that we use in the United States. But there's lots of different measurement units, and it's important because there's a big difference if I say 3 inches, which is, you know, maybe about that long, or maybe about that long, maybe that's a little too long, but 3 inches, or 3 miles. Okay, those things are very, very different, right? 3 miles is going to take you all the way down the road and through the town. 3 inches isn't even going to get you across the piece of paper. Alright, and that's why we really want to encourage kids to be labeling, but that's what this is talking about, this vocabulary word. Turnaround rule. Alright, so we have a turnaround rule is basically saying that you can turn the numbers around and get the same thing. So when you're adding, that works. 6 plus 2 equals 8 is the same thing as if I turn these numbers around and do 2 plus 6 equals 8. That's the turnaround rule. Okay, you can turn the numbers around and get the same thing. It doesn't work with subtraction though, right? Let's say I have 8 dogs and then I take 2 dogs to give to my neighbor. I have 6 dogs left. I can't say I have 2 dogs and then I take away 8 dogs. How could that work? Okay, so the turnaround rule does not work with subtraction that way. Alright, it works with adding, though. I can say I have 6 dogs and then I got 2 more. I had 2 dogs and then I got 6 more. The answer is still going to be the same. So that's the turnaround rule. Alright, fact family. And kids have been hearing about fact families now for a while. Not in 3rd grade, but in previous grades. So fact families, or fact family. And what a fact family is, it's a family of numbers. So we'll just use 6, 2, and 8 because it's right here. In this case, we'll put a plus minus in the middle. You can also have fact families with multiplication and division, but right now we're just talking about adding and subtracting ones. The biggest number is at the top, so that'll be 8, and then the other 2 numbers are down here in the corners. And essentially it means you can do 6 plus 2 equals 8. Oops, I better get it here so you can see. 2 plus 6 equals 8. And then you can do 8 minus 6, oops, equals 2. And 8 minus 2 equals 6. So this is all a fact family. And so you do this one, 8 minus this, and 8 minus this to get the other one. But it turns out to be a nice fact family. Alright? And then we also have number family. Okay? And then the number family is a family of numbers that can be formed from any triplet of numbers. Alright? So, for example, if we look at these numbers all together, these are also a number family. Number family. Alright, so these are the vocabulary words, and there are quite a lot of vocabulary words, as you can see in this unit. As far as what we want kids to be able to know, we want them to be able to use these kind of fact triangles and fact families to get better at adding and subtracting. Okay, we want them to be able to do it automatically. So if your kids can practice with flashcards, that'll really help too, just to get those numbers automatic. But these fact families help them make those connections. Also, use mental arithmetic to solve problems using adding and subtracting of whole numbers, so essentially add and subtract in their heads. Use patterns in the addition and subtraction facts table to find basic facts, so essentially working with number patterns. And use the turnaround rule. Use this turnaround rule for addition. And also with the turnaround rule, for those families who are familiar with it, in the later grades, it's the commutative property. Okay, at 3rd grade, we do not expect the kids to know commutative property, but that might be familiar with what some parents know more. Okay, so this is lesson, and as far as how you can help with this at home, have them adding and subtracting things, especially money, okay, or objects, items, anything they can add and subtract, have them adding and subtracting it. Alright, that'll really help. So this is lesson 2.1, Fact Families, the Parent Help video for grade 3 Everyday Math.